How did entire civilizations manage to thrive without electricity, GPS, or advanced engineering? That question is more than just curiosity. It's a revelation of human brilliance. When modern technology falters, what remains are the systems, methods, and designs forged by ancient minds who had no fallback except their own ingenuity. These were not temporary tricks, but fully functioning innovations that supported millions of people, often with greater sustainability than we achieve today. Today's journey takes us deep into 9 ancient survival inventions that still outperform, or at least rival, modern technology. They weren't gadgets for convenience, they were lifelines. Each of them carried lessons for food security, water management, navigation, agriculture, or defense. And their influence echoes through our survival strategies today. What's remarkable is that in some cases, these ancient methods are still in use, not because of nostalgia, but because they work better than the so-called advanced solutions we've tried to replace them with. So let's dig into the brilliance of our ancestors, where survival was not a theory but the very basis of existence. The Roman aqueduct stands as one of the most enduring survival inventions in human history. Built with nothing but stone, gravity, and human calculation, these structures carried clean water across hundreds of miles, supplying cities that reached populations larger than many modern metropolises. While modern water systems rely on pumps, treatment plants, and electricity, the Romans relied on precision. Aqueducts were tilted with such fine gradients that water flowed steadily without stagnating. What makes this invention timeless is its reliability. A Roman aqueduct didn't stop working during a power outage, nor did it collapse under minor disruption. Even today, remnants of aqueducts still carry water in parts of Europe, reminding us that true resilience comes from simplicity, not dependency on fragile networks. In the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamians faced the same challenge that plagues us in times of scarcity: how to store food safely and reliably. Their answer was monumental: the ziggurat. While the structure is most famous as a religious or cultural symbol, its upper levels also served as critical grain storage facilities. By elevating their stores, they protected food from floods, pests, and theft. Combined with advanced clay seal technology, Mesopotamians could preserve harvests for years, sustaining populations through droughts and famines. This was survival at a community scale, ensuring that when crops failed, society didn't collapse. Compare that with our modern just-in-time supply chains, where empty supermarket shelves appear within days of disruption. The Mesopotamian grain systems, you see, remind us that true preparedness lies in redundancy and foresight. Along the Nile, survival hinged on the ability to irrigate crops as the river's waters rose and fell. The Egyptians developed the shaduf, a simple yet brilliant device, a weighted pole and bucket system that allowed farmers to lift water effortlessly. What makes it extraordinary is its efficiency. With minimal energy, one person could water large fields, sustaining agricultural output that fed an empire. Today's irrigation systems depend on fuel and machinery, which fail during shortages or breakdowns. Yet in parts of rural Egypt and India, the shaduf is still used, because it continues to work better than anything more complicated. It's a testament to the idea that survival technology doesn't have to be advanced to be, revolutionary. High in the Andes, the Inca faced thin soils, steep slopes, and some pretty harsh climates. Their solution was terracing, stone-walled platforms carved into mountainsides that transformed vertical landscapes into fertile farms. These terraces prevented erosion, conserved water, and created microclimates that could grow crops impossible in flat fields. Modern agriculture often depletes soil in just a few decades. In contrast, Incan terraces built over 500 years ago still stand, still usable, and, still productive. Their design proves that sustainability isn't just a slogan, it's engineering that aligns with nature's laws. For survivalists, the lesson is clear. Resilience comes from working with the environment, not against it. For the Vikings, survival was tied to exploration, trade, and sometimes conquest. Their longships were not just vessels, but marvels of naval engineering. With shallow drafts, they could travel across oceans, slip into rivers, and even land directly on beaches. The flexible planked design allowed them to cut through rough seas with unmatched stability. Even modern shipbuilders study these designs, recognizing that they remain among the most versatile ever created. For survival, the longship meant more than transport. It meant the ability to adapt, to reach resources, and to endure hostile environments with technology perfectly tuned to the challenge. In warfare, survival sometimes depended on deterrence. The Byzantines wielded Greek fire, a truly mysterious incendiary compound that burned even on water. Its exact formula, well, it remains lost, but its effectiveness was legendary indeed. Used to defend against naval invasions, it turned the tide of battles and preserved empires. Modern weapons may be more advanced, but Greek fire, it demonstrates that ancient knowledge of chemistry was more sophisticated than we often admit. More importantly, it shows that survival isn't just about feeding populations. It's also about protecting them with innovations that instilled fear and respect. In arid Persia, survival meant one thing: water. The Qanat system, it solved the problem in a way that still outperforms many modern attempts. By tunneling underground to tap aquifers, Persians created gravity-fed channels that carried cool, clean water across miles of desert without evaporation loss. Qanats are so effective that, well, some are still functioning over 2,500 years later. When you compare that to modern pipelines, which often corrode, crack or waste billions of gallons, it's quite astonishing, really. The Qanat shows us that survival solutions can actually be both low-tech and permanent, designed not just for decades, but honestly for centuries. For the Maya, survival wasn't just about the physical side of things. It was, in fact, deeply intellectual. Their glyphic writing and advanced calendar system allowed them to predict agricultural cycles, celestial events, and even natural disasters. By knowing when rains would come, or when droughts might strike, they could plan harvests and rituals with remarkable precision. Knowledge is survival, and the Maya really proved that record-keeping and foresight were just as vital as food and water. Modern society, even with all its databases and algorithms, often struggles with prediction because, well, it tends to rely on short-term models. The Mayan system stands as proof that, honestly, observation and patience can yield true resilience. China gifted the world two survival tools that are still in use today: the compass and the seismograph. The compass, you see, unlocked global navigation, making exploration and resource discovery possible on an unprecedented scale. And the seismograph, invented during the Han Dynasty, provided early warnings of earthquakes centuries before modern seismic science ever caught up. Both inventions prove that survival is not just about responding to challenges, but, anticipating them. They reveal that ancient technology wasn't primitive, it was deeply rooted in foresight and the will to endure. Looking back at these inventions, a clear message emerges. Our ancestors built for resilience. They relied on designs that required no electricity, no fragile networks, and no complex supply chains. They valued simplicity, sustainability, and foresight, qualities modern systems often neglect. In a world where climate change threatens water, soil and food security, and where disasters expose the fragility of infrastructure, these ancient systems still speak to us. The aqueduct reminds us to rethink water delivery without energy dependence. The Incan terraces teach us about regenerative agriculture. The qanats and shadoufs prove that irrigation doesn't need fossil fuels. And the compasses, glyphs and calendars show us that survival is not brute force, but intelligence. The enduring power of these inventions lies in their accessibility. Anyone can study, adapt and apply them without needing a factory or a microchip. That is why they outperform modern tech in survival contexts. They work anywhere, under any conditions, for centuries. The journey through these 9 inventions reveals more than ingenuity. It reveals the resilience of human civilization itself. From aqueducts to terraces, from fire to compasses, ancient people left us not relics, but roadmaps for enduring an uncertain world. The question now is not whether we can admire their brilliance, it's whether we can learn from it. As we face our own challenges of scarcity, instability and climate, perhaps the smartest move isn't inventing something new, but rediscovering what already works. So, fellow history enthusiasts, if this exploration has inspired you to see the past not as distant but as essential to our future, then let's keep uncovering these treasures together. Don't forget to subscribe to In the Beginning and share this video so more people can learn how the ancient world still guides us today.